Hey guys, so we've pulled up Grant Ferrix out, and he's going to quickly take us through some of the big changes on the Husqvarna range for 2023. On the 4-stroke side, what are some of the big changes?
So pretty much it's a brand new motorcycle from front to back. The only parts it shares from last year is the fuel cap and the front wheel, which we'll both straight in. So apart from that, the bike's brand new, new frame, new swing arm, paired together with a new linkage, which gives the bike a much better geometry for the suspension. It gives the rider a better forward position to give him a nice rider triangle. As we move up the bike, the engines are completely new on the 4-strokes, as well as the 2-strokes, which we'll touch on just now. Class-leading power delivery on the bikes, class-leading power. The rear shock is brand new as well. It's got a different sort of ratio than it had previously. So it's got a nice plush initial stroke and stiffens up as you go through the stroke, which is nice for over jumps and really big braking bumps and all that.
When you say over jumps, the one comment that I had is, okay, I'm no motocross rider, but I keep casing and there's never that feeling where the bike gets squirty. It soaks it up and I'm just able to go down.
It's a real plush feeling, which is what they're going for, and that's thanks to the linkage, the new linkage ratio. That
you really can feel it. Yeah. Now on the 2-strokes, we've had a brief discussion about TPIs, injections, etc. like that. Take us a quick step through the 2-strokes. What has changed?
So Stefan is obviously the man to talk to technically wise for that. But the power delivery on the 2-stroke is completely different to how it has been previously forever. With the carburetor, now with the direct injection, it's immediate power. It's the power band, when that kicks in, it's a lot less noticeable because you've got continuous power throughout the curve. That's thanks to the electronically controlled power valve, which you can adjust. You have to be really clever to do it, which you can adjust and suit your riding style and obviously all the upgrades that you've done to the bike to accommodate and to make up the difference there. So the electronic power valve is a great feature on the bike, and then paired with the direct injection, we've got literally first of its kind. An injected motocross bike that works
100%, and it is that easy to ride, whether you're a novice, a beginner, or even a pro racer. These bikes are just so easy to ride. Get on, go, and if you want to put it into the most aggressive mode, hold on tight. Thanks, mate.
No worries.
I must admit, it's a very small bike, but again, like we said with the other one, is in the high revs it goes. It literally just pulls big time, and it spanks it. You ride it hard, and you think it's about to slide out, but it doesn't. As it's about to, you get that feeling, I'm going to lose the rear, and it just finds the traction, pushes, and it goes. It is, overall, it's a little package. It's like a little dynamo. It's a piece of dynamo just was waiting to go boom, and as soon as you hit that power band, it goes boom, and then, but it's got everything to keep you straight on the rails without it, it's crazy. It's lovely.
Super fun, reminds me of my childhood, brings back so much memories. What a load of fun, man. But you really got to keep it revving in its power band to keep it going. The moment you tap off, you got to rev it up again and it bogs a bit, but that's normal 1 to 5 story, so you just got to get used to that. Being on a 4-stroke for a long time, you just have to, I forgot how it feels, Big difference between the Husky and the KTM, I must say. I thought it was going to feel so much alike, being a 1 to 5, but wow, it's actually a completely different bike. The handling, the geometry, the feeling it gives you, it's completely different. The power delivery is a bit different. This is a bit smoother on the bottom, whereas the KTM is more bottom end. So that once it's going, it's got a bigger top end as well. So a bit different setup, but awesome bike. I love it. Great stuff.
FC250. What I must say, coming from an enduro background and then coming to a motocross track, I'm no motocross rider by all means. So coming off an enduro bike onto a motocross bike, it is so user friendly, so easy to ride. You can be a proper weekend warrior, get on the bike, you feel fast, you feel comfortable. The one thing with these new 23 models is, if you're under jumping and you hit like a knuckle or something, sometimes like when you land on a knuckle or something like that, you tend to have the bike like go squirrely on you. and 9 or 10 times that's when you generally fall. It's from the bad landing on a knuckle or short, whatever. These bikes are soaking up all those short landings that I'm doing. So at that point, the suspension soaks it all up, and it doesn't throw you squirrely and out of place or anything. It holds its line and it keeps it there fantastically.
First impressions, like when I climbed straight on and I flung my leg over the bike, I could feel like it was shorter. So they say about 15 millimeters shorter on the seat, which helps for me because I'm very short. So it helps a lot getting on the bike, off the bike, and on the starts, of course. So that was quite handy. They say it might catch in the ruts, but I don't really feel that at all. I think that's not really going to happen. But I'm really impressed with the bike. I think it's really powerful. Similar with power ranges to the KTM we tested a little while ago. A lot of power down there, and definitely an upgrade compared to the older 250s. I ride a 250 back home, and it's chalk and cheese. I mean, the stock bike out of the box runs like a 5-6 year old bike with done a pipe and a head on it. So really out of the box, really impressive, and it's got the maps which you can change on the fly, which is really awesome. I could feel down the stretch putting a map to you, and you really get that extra grunt, and out of the corners getting over the jumps, especially today. It's quite a bit muddy, so I felt that really came in handy. The rigidity on the frame, I didn't really notice it too much. I would like to play around a bit on the suspension. I mean, there's a lot of mixed reviews about the WP suspension, but you know, they are the most adjustable suspension that you get out there on the stock market. So I think if you play around with it and spend some time, you can get that sweet spot. Yeah, straight out of the box, I'm really happy with the bike. Well impressed with the new bike. The appearance and the feel is a lot like the bit of the previous models, but the power I feel is a lot more responsive. And the difference between map 1 2 is quite a big difference. Whereas before it was hard, you couldn't really feel much of a difference in riding. Now there's a big gap between this, so I think that's really cool. The traction control is really awesome, and the quick shift flat on in the throttle, you're just clicking up, and you don't even have to worry about the clutch. That is a really cool feature, especially in the mud. So I'm really happy with the new Huskies. They are awesome. Go get one.
On the FC350, I had a 350 enduro bike, so I was very keen to see the power delivery. Bear in mind it is motocross, a lot more punchy. In the one map it is so user friendly. You don't realize you're on a 350 until you open it up. However, when you put it in the second map, you hold on, you would swear you're on a 450. Very nice and tight. And the other thing is, although it's a bigger bore bike, it is narrow, it is small, it is nimble, and you can just ride it. It's so easy and manageable below you. So in that regard, it's fantastic.
Yeah, the 350 was a good bike. It's personally my favorite out of the bunch. It's a bit like detuned compared to the 450. The 450 is a handful. So if you're not riding the 450 full capability, this is the bike for you. So if you're a veteran rider, a bit older, you still want to go fast and still competitive in the 450 class, but just a bit more of a controllable and manageable power, the 350 is the right bike for you. So I'm really impressed with the bike's power. Again, big difference between map 1 and map 2. The suspension, I'd like to play around with the suspension. Hopefully we can fiddle a bit with it today and feel different suspension settings and see what the bike does. Very much same fuel as the older bike. They say it's slightly a bit heavier than the older bike, but I didn't really notice that. And the geometry of the bike feels very much the same. Just the bike feels a little bit more grippy on your body. So when you hold it, when you're riding the bike, you can grip it a bit easier with your legs, if that makes sense. Otherwise, the power is there. It's an awesome bike. My personal favorite out of the bunch. And if you're a weekend warrior or a veteran rider and you just don't want to hang on to a 450 anymore, the 350 is the perfect bike for you, for sure.
You're a little bit hot and sweaty and bothered. Let me assume you just climbed off the FC450.
You say that, but it's not as hard work as you think. On a big track like this, it's very user friendly, but all these motorbikes are user friendly. And what I am noticing, the bigger bore, the easier it is to ride. So that's one thing that is very, very cool. But I really do like the way it's, no matter what corner you're in, it always finds traction, no matter what you're doing. You know, you open it up, you expect the rear to slide all over the place. It just finds the traction always. And the one thing that a lot of us have been saying is the cornering on these bikes. And they definitely do corner very, very well. I'd almost say like a Japanese frame and setup and everything. They corner phenomenally. The power mode, that 450, when you put into beast mode, it's a beast. It's almost like old school 450 where there's nothing and then everything. But in the standard mode, really good fun to ride. You can get around the motocross track, you can have fun at the motocross track, even if you are a novice or intermediate. But if you're a pro racer, I mean, this machine is going to definitely do wonders for you.
Bit of a handful after the whole day's riding, but what a bike, what a machine. And you're getting over these jumps like quarter throttle. I mean, there's so much power here, it's ridiculous. I've been riding on map 1 now. I'm going to go give map 2 a go now, and map 1 is even a handful, so map 2 is going to be a big difference for sure. Bike handles amazing, very comfortable to ride. These bikes are amazing. I'm happy with the new 23 models. I think the changes and upgrades they made is really awesome. I'd like to play around with suspension settings a bit more and try different terrains and see how the new rigid, the upgraded chassis handles that. You know, I think the rigid chassis does put more emphasis on the suspension, being more rigid, especially on the harder pack as well compared to the sand. But yeah, completely different bike, and I think big upgrade compared to the last model for sure.
Right, Mike, you've just come back after having the 450 on map 2, and the difference?
Big difference between map 1. Not like the previous bikes, we could hardly feel the difference in the mapping tunes. It's quite amazing and the big difference. I really like what they've done, so it gives you that both options. So I think it's a really good thing to have, and it is definitely in the future, and all bikes are going to go this way. And I think it's a good bike. I think really amazing. I can't wait to see how many units they sell.
And how's the quick shifter with the map 2?
It's on fire, right? By the time it really starts working, I'm already tapping down. So there's plenty power here. There's plenty, more than enough for sure. Definitely it feels quicker than the previous model, I have to admit.
So Josh, tell us something. We've seen it all over Facebook and Instagram and everything. You're in America. What do you do in America?
I was in America chasing the dream, you know. I think it's every motocross rider's dream to go over and race in the pro series, and I was very fortunate enough to be able to train with those guys, and you know, unfortunately I didn't manage to go pro yet, but you know, I know I can still go back there and still make it happen. So really looking forward to the future, but super happy to be home, and awesome time to be on a Husqvarna right now as we ride the new bikes. So you know, just perfect timing for everything, you know.
And tell me, you know, we always say American guys are so much faster. And how fast are those guys in America? I mean, you their first-hand experience.
Yeah, I mean, the guys there are really, really good. I mean, they just ride every single day. So, you know, obviously they have the tracks. So yeah, it's really just a mind-opening experience, you know. But it's definitely something we can get to as South Africans. But yeah, no, they're riding just amazing.
So you say you were training, on average, how many hours a day were you training and how many days a week?
So basically what the training schedule was, it was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday of riding, and then we would throw in a cycle on a Wednesday and the gym maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And then like a long cycle on the weekends. It's a bit different to what we do here, but yeah, you know, it's such an awesome time, and yeah, the guys there really put in the work.
Brilliant. And plans to go back, plans for the future now, back in South Africa, what exactly are you up to now, and then where do you go back?
Yeah, obviously I'm finishing off the season here at Husqvarna. I'd obviously like to continue with them next year, and then our national schedule has some few gaps where I'd be able to go over and do a few pro nationals, so that'll be in the works for sure, and then yeah, just be based here and then go back and forth.
100 thanks, Josh, and all the best, man.
Thank you very much.
So Husqvarna have released a whole new team. We've got Josh and Lemmy that was in the States, and now we got Mike Doherty that was in UAE. Mike, how's it? Welcome back. It's been ages since we've seen you in the magazine. What were you doing in UAE? Take us through it.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back in South Africa. Yeah, UAE, you know, I was racing there, doing a lot more of the rally stuff and, you know, off-road, desert stuff. So, yeah, no, back here now, you know, getting some racing in. So, So looking forward to the rest of the season.
When was the last time you rode motocross? You know, we're having a conversation where
Yeah.
you said very different.
Yeah, no, it's last time I actually raced motocross was like 2019. So yeah, it's been a bit hard adjusting to motocross again from different training and rally. So yeah, no, but I'm getting there. You know, enjoying it.
So then the first question is, Dakar next year or this year? What's happening?
Yeah, Dakar is the plan. So right now we got the entry and everything in, so we are just looking for some funding so we can get there. But yeah, that's the plan.
And then you're racing for this year, it's National MX Off-Road.
Yeah, so I'm racing the National Motocross and the National Cross Country Series as well.
And now you're here now. Are you going to be going back to UAE?
Yeah, I have to go back for visa things. So, but I'll go there and come back pretty much like 2-3 days. So, yeah, I'll be spending pretty much the most of the year here in South Africa.
Well, it's great, and I think we can all say Husqvarna's pulled a great team together this year. So let's see what happens. Mike, thanks, bro.